Reality check, man, from a device, it's a unique one, aromatic, realistic TV. Anyway, today, my viewers and subscribers, the saga continue with the Cuban health specialist. And history repeat itself once more. In 1980, when Edward Seaga win the general election, Edward Seaga give all Cubans in Jamaica 24 hours to leave Jamaica. Edward Seaga himself was captured leading some of the Cubans through the airport. And a couple decades later, we see the Jamaica Labour Party repeat themselves once more. When the Andrew Holness-led administration is sending home the Cuban healthcare specialists, that the poor, the vulnerable, the less fortunate of our nation depend on whether they're going to live to see another day, or some of them will continue to stay blind with their remaining days here on planet Earth. But Mr. Tufton stated to the reporter, and his words is that the Cuban eye care program, and he said, for example, at St. Joseph, they do almost 20 surgery per day, and thousands of Jamaicans benefit from the program. It would be a challenge if the Cubans left Jamaica. But remember what Aromatic stated, whenever the Prime Minister stays silent, it means consent. When him stays silent, it means to say him going to take the opposite side. I'm telling you, say, the man go send home back the Cuban there. We can see it before it happen. Them people are not have no balls. They are not there for the best interest of the Jamaican people. They are there for self-gain and self-benefit. So anytime something arose that would benefit the Jamaican people, and for these people to stand up, show some balls, and defend us, they never do that. They always take the opposite side and leave with the Jamaican people in the cold. Let me remind you, what Aromatic telling us, say, a couple days ago, before Rubio come to Jamaica. Take it away. But check up our friend, the Cubans them. Because Jamaica, you see, if you want to know your real friend, you have to wait until your back are up against the wall. And that is how you are going to know your true friends. And I am going to go back previously to the pandemic. And when the pandemic hit, and the whole world is in a frenzy, and nurses and doctors are precious commodities, and you could never take up your phone and call one of these first world countries and telling them that you're looking some assistant with some nurses or doctors. No, they decline because they have to look out first for their people before they can even think about giving a helping hand. So in times of crisis, the Cubans stand with us. In times of crisis, the Cubans stand with us. And now it's Jamaica's turn to stand with the Cubans. Our Prime Minister is silent. And in this life, they say silent means consent. And if you can recall, it's the same thing when the Prime Minister and them entourage thief Usain Bolt and the other 200 customer money from SSL. It's the same way the Prime Minister was silent. So anytime the Prime Minister going to take the opposite side, he's silent. We know him now, we study him, we read him like a book, Jamaica. Anytime the Prime Minister of Jamaica is going to be on the opposite side, he is silent. He no come out and can say nothing. But them say if you want to know your friend from your enemy, farm junk and lay down a roadside. The Cuban was there in times of crisis. You what the Matic just say? You want to know your true friend, brother. Wait till crisis hit and your back are up against the wall. And then you will know who is your true friend. The Cuban dead with we, man. All along, brother. When nobody else no see it fit to come to our rescue, they always there. They always step up. They always answer the call, bro. I'm saying to you, think about it. Over 5,000 eye surgery done every year. And Jamaicans who are not financially stable, who can't afford the surgery. And if it wasn't for these Cuban doctors, just think about it. 5,000 Jamaican on a yearly basis would not be able to even glimpse, much less to see again. Yewa Tufton have to say no. And then after that, we will dissect it. Take it away.
Lives depend on it. That was Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton's candid response to concerns over the possibility of Cuban medical professionals being sent home. Dr. Tufton admitted at Parliament's Standing Finance Committee on Thursday that the impact would be felt significantly.
This is something that we would prefer not to have, as you know, because lives depend on it. The Cuban eye care program, for example, at St. Joseph's, they do almost 20 surgeries a day, and thousands of Jamaicans benefit from the program. So it would be a challenge. It would be a challenge.
This widening of the restrictions has raised concerns across CARICOM, particularly in countries that rely on Cuban medical professionals to supplement their healthcare systems. According to Dr. Tufton, over 400 such professionals supplement Jamaica's medical staff.
If we assume the worst, which is what you're suggesting, it would have a significant impact on our health system in that we have close to 400 Cuban healthcare workers in our public health system, primarily nurses and primarily specialist nurses. So those working in the very specialized areas, which is where the greatest shortage exists. And it would mean that those services would be impacted. So the consequences of a suspension or termination of those arrangements would mean maybe some suspension or at best rearranging of some of those services as to where they could be accessed.
Dr. Tufton says the government through the Foreign Affairs Ministry is attempting to come to a compromise through negotiations with Cuba and the United States.
The conversations that are taking place now are attempting to firstly understand the problem a little more and to see to what extent we can work around it with our bilateral partner, both Cuba and by extension the US. And those conversations are being led by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with the support and advice from this ministry. It's early days yet, so we'll see what happens.
However, he says contingencies are being worked on through the Philippines, India, and Nigeria.
My viewers and subscribers, don't be fooled by these punks, these clowns. No conversation now take place. Everything done and over already. The Americans tell them what them have to do, and them already start to do what the Americans told them to do. So what he's saying, to cut long story short, Why am I saying no? Most of the position them, what the nurse them when I deal with, in our hospital them, some of my clinic them, them service they go terminated. Because you don't have those specialized nurse again to work in those areas. It is going to worse in the healthcare system because them nurse they're not there again. So all of the sentimental baboon labor right them other talk. The impact that this going to create on Jamaica, it is not going to be a normal one. It is not going to be a normal one. But I understand and I study the labor right. Capitalists and capitalist mentality. They never care about the poor and they will never. It's all about them friend, them cronies, them exploit the people, steal away as much of the people resources and spread it amongst few of them. And 99.9% of the people always live in the dark and remain as sufferers. So his words, as the reporter asks of Tufton, this is something that we would prefer not to have. But as you know, because life depends on it. He goes on and he further stated, the Cuban eye care program, for example, at St. Joseph, they do almost 20 surgery per day and thousands of Jamaicans benefited from the program. He make it clear it would be a challenge for these people to leave. It is going to be a challenge. Remember now, 20 surgery a day, Jamaica. I want to know if you're looking and understand what they take place in and the impact, that the sufferer them, why face, the sufferer them, who don't have no choice, So them have to sit and wait on the Cuban to do a free surgery. If that's not the case, they will remain blind for the rest of their life. This is what the Holness administration, Christopher Tufton, taking away from the poor people of Jamaica. A chance to have a little glimpse again, just a little glimpse of hopes that they will be able to see again. The Andrew Holness administration take this away from the poor people of Jamaica who don't have a choice. So they have to depend on the service that the government offer to them. So they do 20 a day. So it would be 100 for the week. And it would be 400 for the month. If we multiply 400 by 12, then we roughly they look for almost 5,000 people every year where the Cuban them give a second chance of seeing again. Well, it is now of the past because the Holness administration take that away from them. So their talking point is that the Cuban work permit is expired, or some will expire soon, and some already expired. But the question what we have to ask Jamaica, if Andrew Holness and Tufton know, so the work permit them when expire or about to expire, why they didn't tell that? to the Jamaican people? Why they wait until Marco Rubio come and tell them what they need to do? Then them go come out now and tell we that the Cubans them work permit expire. Read between the lines, man. Tom junk, but Tom no fool, brother. We don't eat that around here, brother. Them have to do what they're told. Because if them not do it, the man them go lose them visa. The man them choose self over Jamaica. The man them choose a visa over poor people to have another chance, to have a glimpse at life. And you only choose a visa over a poor man to have another glimpse at life. Again, that's what they choose. Self over country. So, it goes on, and he stated, as the reporter asked him, and Tufton replied, if we assume the worst, which is what you are suggesting, would have a significant impact on our healthcare system. You hear what the reporter asked him, man? If we assume the worst, which is what you are suggesting, would have a significant impact on our healthcare system. We have close to 400 Cubans, healthcare workers in our public health system. You hear what the man said? We have close to 400 Cuban healthcare workers in our public health system. This is when it get grimy and get even more serious, more technical. You know what the man stated in? He says primarily nurses and primarily specialist nurses, those working in the very specialized area, which is where the greatest shortage exists. Primarily nurses and primarily specialist nurses, those working in the very specialized area, which is where the greatest shortage exists. And that's the problem then. And that's the Cuban them are working in a some strategic and some technical area. You know. Them cover a wide variety of the hospital. You know. Most of them can do everything. We are going to lose them. So what he's saying, most of those service is going to be suspended, or we could say expelled. It's gonna be pandemonium and chaos on our healthcare system. Edward Seaga and the Jamaica Labour Party did it in 1980 when Edward Seaga gave them 24 hours to leave Jamaica, and he escorted some of the Cubans on their way out of our airport back to Cuba. History repeats itself. Andrew Holness administration, led by his health minister, Christopher Tufton, sent home the Cubans them once more. Alright, that's the thing then. So all who they try to be partisan and bring the partisan things in at this is going to be a devastating blow in our healthcare sector. Remember, you know, it almost crumbled, you know, with the Cubans when they were there. Think about now that they are leaving, the after effect, you know, the aftershock. That's the danger. Sometimes it's not even the earthquake, you know. What is the aftershock? That is the danger. Think about it, my viewers and subscribers. The Cuban always been there for us. And when the time comes for us to stand up and defend the Cuban, the Prime Minister and his administration, the Jamaica Labour Party, sell out the Cubans to maintain their visa. So what they do, they choose self over the nation. Them choose themselves over the nation. Them choose themselves over the blind. Them choose themselves over the sick. Them choose themselves over the people who don't have a choice. Them choose themselves over the people who depend on the government to give them a second chance. They choose themselves over those people. Think about it, my viewers and subscribers. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Like and share and follow the Matic over YouTube. We tell them when time we're shooting a bullseye, it have to be clear as crystal. We are here to uplift, to educate my people, to remove the cloud from them eyes, to remove the mental slavery from them cranium, and make them can see life in a different light. Continue to tell them us the signature word, it never change. The Matic telling them it remain the same. Heart of love. Until then, and the man will chat again. Peace and love.